Hello, welcome to Talking the Secret Doctrine. My name is Dr. Don Franklin Shepherd, and today we will be continuing our exploration of the first volume of H.P. Blavatsky's The Secret Doctrine, in particular in the section entitled The Mundane Egg on pages 359 to 360. Once again, we will be using H.P. Blavatsky's The Secret Doctrine, published by Theosophical University Press, located out at Pasadena, California. So let us go ahead and take a look at the first paragraph on page 359, where H.P. Blavatsky writes, "The egg was incorporated as a sacred sign in the cosmogony of every people on the earth." But why? Well, she continues and she gives the answer. She talks about the gradual development of the imperceptible germ within the closed shell. The inward working, without any apparent outward interference of force, which from a latent nothing produced an active something needing naught but heat, and which, having gradually evolved into a concrete living creature, broke its shell, appearing to the outward senses of all a self-generated and self-created being. Well, here we have the answer. The words "the latent nothing" correspond to the potential point in the immaculate white disk. From one perspective, this can be spoken of as the first logos. It produces an active something. Well, the active something is the central point in its active stage, and this can be spoken of as the third logos. And these need not save but heat, and it gradually develops and becomes a concrete living creature. This concrete living creature is the seventh layer of Paramatman, of the mundane egg. So we have these three stages which have been discussed on this channel already. The potential point, the active point, and then this concrete living creature in the seventh layer of the mundane egg, which ultimately unrolls the other six layers and becomes a complete being, a tenfold being of the cosmos. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second paragraph. She goes on. "The first cause had no name in the beginning." Well, here she's referring to the first cause. She's not referring to the causeless cause. The first cause, which in this case is the potential point, becoming the active point. "Later, the egg was pictured in the fancy of the thinkers as an ever-invisible, mysterious bird that dropped an egg into chaos, which egg becomes the universe." So the mysterious bird in this case is the potential point united with the immaculate white disk, and therefore in some ways can be spoken of as the first logos. It drops an egg. The egg in this case has become active. So the egg is now the third logos. And this third logos is dropped into chaos. Chaos is Mula Prakriti, or the second logos. So we have the first logos dropping the egg, the third logos into chaos, the second logos. And this egg becomes the universe. So the active point becomes the universe, and the universe is the sevenfold mundane egg, and in particular, the concrete living being of the sevenfold mundane egg. She continues, hence Brahm, in this case Brahm being the first logos, was called Kalahansa, the swan in space and time. He became the swan in eternity who lays at the beginning of each Mahamanvantara a golden egg. So he's laying the third logos, which tinctures the sevenfold universe, at the beginning of the Mahamanvantara. Now, H.P. Blavatsky does not delineate all the time periods within the great Mahamanvantara, other than saying that it's broken into 7 divisions. But we know that she's dealing with a 311 trillion year Mahamanvantara here, and a 311 trillion year Mahapralaya. And let's go on to the third paragraph. She writes about the egg. "The second reason for its having been chosen as a symbolical representation of the universe and of our earth was its form. It was a circle and a sphere." So here we have the mundane egg starting out as a circle, and with evolution it gets blown out into a sphere as it becomes more material, as we develop the central suns, especially as we develop the solar suns and the planets. We get this circle, this flat circle, developing out into a sphere. Plane of the immaculate white disk, through evolution, in all of its subservient aspects, becomes spheroidal. She continues, The first manifestation of the cosmos in the form of an egg was the most widely diffused belief in antiquity. And she's going to talk about the various traditions, the Egyptian tradition, the Greek tradition, so forth and so on. There at the beginning of paragraph 4, she writes about the Egyptian tradition. Ra is shown like Brahma, gestating in the egg of the universe. So here we have a clear placement of Ra. Ra is the third logos in its active form. And this third logos is going to gestate in the egg of the universe. And then the creature, the concretized creature, will come out in Paramatman and then unfold the rest of the universe. But Ra is the central point, the third logos. She continues, the deceased is resplendent in the egg of the land of the mysteries. That is in the third logos, in the shining point. Before that shining point explodes and splinters and sends all of its beautiful sparks throughout Mula Prakriti is the second logos, is the chaos talked about before. For this is the egg to which is given life among the gods. That is because the gods are the sixth layer of the mundane egg and below. She goes on in the 5th paragraph to talk about the Greek tradition, and this is what she says. With the Greeks, the Orphic egg is described by Aristophanes and was part of the Dionysiac and other mysteries. Well, it was part of the Dionysiac mysteries because Dionysius corresponds to the 7th layer of Paramatman in the mundane egg. This is why Dionysius is the god of second chances, because all of those entities could not evolve up into Dionysius as the 7th layer of the mundane egg. In this cycle of existence, in this Mahamanvantara, they get another chance. So Dionysius, as the 7th layer of the mundane egg, is the god of second chances in Greek literature. She goes on to talk about the mundane egg, talking about how Porphyry discussed it, and then she has a very interesting point here on page 360. How some people have tried to suggest that the mundane egg and Noah's Ark are the same, but they're not. This is what she writes. Faber and Bryant have tried to show that the egg typified the Ark of Noah, which, unless the latter is accepted as purely allegorical and symbolical, is a wild belief. That is because the Ark is a container, is a vessel. The Ark, the container, the vessel holds the mundane egg. The mundane egg is held within it. For example, we have Mula Prakriti as a container. We have the first logos, and the first logos shoots out the third logos. So the third logos we saw then is held within chaos, the second logos. So one could argue that Noah's Ark is Mula Prakriti, the second logos. Then this third logos from itself splinters and shoots out sparks into the universe. So Noah's Ark is not these sparks and these splinters. Those would be held in the 6th layer of the mundane egg. But rather, Noah's Ark is the container of the third logos splintering itself out through the various layers of the universe. All of these are beautiful thoughts. The mystic tradition is here. We can see all of these things in our mind's eye. They all exist. Thank you so much. See you again.